That's a cool stick. I have to take this with me. Almost there. Maybe it's possible to come on. Beautiful. So here I am doing another Surly update video on top of a mountain. Let's go. Maybe you know this feeling too. You buy a bike, you ride with it, and then you notice that something isn't working out that well. So you need to change it. Then you make some changes, ride again, and then figure out, hey, I can change this thing too. And so was the same thing with my Surly. At this point, I would call it an obsession, a Surly obsession, and I show you my recent changes I had to do because it drove me nuts. It all started with a little off-road tour, and at this point I had a stiff seat post, and I figured out why not have a little more play, like a dropper post. But I didn't want to have a hydraulic dropper, so I found a mechanical dropper post from DT Swiss. They're actually really expensive, like 350 or between 350 or 220, I don't know. You can look the price up, but they're really expensive. But on the used market, sometimes you find them really cheap, like dirt cheap. And it happens with that one. I bought it and mounted it on my bike, sat on it, and the whole thing collapsed. And I was like really angry and upset about maybe I bought a damaged one. And then I looked the Explosionszeichnung, the inspection sheet, I would call it in English. I looked it up and deconstructed the whole dropper post and looked everything up, and I noticed that the locking ring is misplaced. So normally the lock ring has a canted thing which has to point downwards and not upwards, and in this kind of wrongly rebuilt dropper post, it was canted upside, so the dropper slipped down because there's no flat surface that the saddle can ride on. And I changed the locking ring and put it down so that the canted thing looks down and the flat face is on the top side, and then the whole dropper post worked out, and I am really happy about this one. So for the guys who also have a DT Swiss thing, a DT Swiss dropper post, and it doesn't work, look up if the locking ring, the silver locking ring, is mounted in this position. By the way, this DT Swiss dropper post has a drop from 60 millimeters or 6 centimeters. It's actually working out for this build, because I wanted to stay as mechanical as possible, from mechanical disc brakes to mechanical droppers. So in my book, mechanical things doesn't leak or get damaged as quickly as hydraulic stuff or electronic stuff. The biggest change I made on the Surly are now the 29-inch wheels. These are specialized Epic wheels. I found them really cheap on the internet, and I first was not so impressed with 29-inch wheels, and I didn't get the point of 29-inch wheels, because before that I rode 27.5, and the difference is not that much, but I did some ChatGPT-ing and did some calculations and rolling resistance and yada 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 and so on, and I figure out why not give it a try and try the 29-inch wheels and see if they really fit my style of riding. By the way, I'm mainly focused on bike packing and doing adventure with my bike and building a robust bike which doesn't have many flaws, I think. So only mechanical stuff, big wheels that I can roll over some uneven terrain really quick and efficient. And so the 29-inch wheels came in real handy after ChatGPT said some really interesting stuff. And I show you what kind of tires I put on there. Tire wise, I'm using the Schwalbe Smart Sam. I like this tire because it has a rolling fret in the middle, like a real stubby one, and it has enough shoulder things so that you can lean into muddy stuff or gravelly stuff and still have enough traction. And I ride these in front and also in the rear. By the way, these are the 2.25-inch version, so the 57 millimeters for the European watchers. So my impression of riding 29-inch wheels for the first time: usually I ride 26 or 27, sometimes 28, but 29, yeah, it's actually also a 28 but a big thicker tire, so it matches a 29-inch, but I'm quite happy with it. I think it really, or in my opinion, it really rolls faster to or through uneven terrain. And for my bike packing adventure stuff, I think these tires or these wheel set and tire work out. One thing I didn't mention in my last videos was the pedals. I used the Magpeds, the Magped Ultra, and I modified them quite a bit. First off, as you can see, this is actually the left pedal and there's the right, but the pedal says right. So no, I didn't screw up the frets, the inside frets. No, I screwed off the end cap and pulled the whole pedal off and switched the left to the right to the left, so that I can have this magnet in front, because let's have a look, let's take off my shoe. I'm midfoot pedaling dude. And okay, now I put off the wrong shoe. Wait a second. So now there's the right, or the left foot, I would say. The left shoe. Okay, first off, I deconstructed the pedal and I put the right pedal on the left on the right, so that the magnet is in front. I did this because I'm a midfoot pedaler, and by doing this you can adjust the pedal much further in, like this, and you can pedal with your midfoot, which fits my riding style much better than using SPT clip style or clipless things, because I also had to look up the shoes. By the way, these are the Shimano GE5 shoes, and they can adjust the magnetic plate or the SPT plate really far down. And yeah, by the way, when you are midfoot pedaler, Magped is your thing. Maybe you have to try them out. And I also have to show I also need to show you some other changes I did on this pedal. One flaw I noticed was, maybe you can see it, there are some scratch marks on this side of the rubber of the shoe. That's because I had these pins over there and I screwed them out and took some plastic wire or plastic band and melted it inside the threads so that the thread doesn't get dirt inside or get scratched up and I cannot use these threads. But I screwed these things out because these metal parts kept pushing away my shoe from the magnet and it was really hard to get a supple fit with them. But after fixing even these parts, I'm really quite happy with the Magped Ultra with the modified version. Bag wise, I didn't change anything. These are still my CandyWrap bags in the mud fabric, I called it. In the rear bag I put my sleeping bag, sleeping pad, pillow, and in the upper CandyWrap bag I put some small compressible items like a rain jacket or a shirt, a pullover, you name it. In the frame bag I put the heavy stuff like a cooker or some bulky items. And in front there's also a CandyWrap bag and I clipped it around the fork and fiddle it around the aero bars, and there I keep the food and the drinks so I stay motivated during riding. And yeah, this setup worked out the last tour, so I stick with this setup. Here's a little CandyWrap update. All these bags are CandyWrap bags. I designed them myself, and in my previous video I told you guys that I have my first batch ready. So the first CandyWrap batch is ready and I'm currently designing the packaging, so the thing where you can showcase the CandyWrap bag. And there's quite a lot of work, and I also need to find a company which produces the packaging for the CandyWrap bags. So stay tuned, let's go further with the Surly update. I think I haven't talked about the saddle. This is the Selle Royale Garda saddle. I like this one because it has a huge air vent in the middle, and for touring I find this saddle really comfortable because of that vent. And padding wise it's really comfortable, and I usually ride without cycling shorts because I don't like the feeling of them. Things I might change in the future is the whole drivetrain. This is now a 2x10 setup. The first chainring has 34 teeth, the small one has 24, and in the rear I have a 11 to 36 cassette with a standard XD derailleur. When I changed the 27.5 inch wheels, I had the problem of getting the cassette off the hub. It was also a HG hub from Shimano, and where the cassette is on, the cassette got really stuck and was biting inside the hub, and was completely not possible to get this thing off, even with all lubricant and some light hammering and stuff. Wasn't possible. And I was thinking maybe there is an option to have a different mounting style for the cassette, so this this thing doesn't bind up that much. And I found the XD drive from SRAM, and I'm trying out the XD SRAM when I find a good deal on it. So stay tuned for maybe a new drivetrain, then I can make the 4th or the 5th video of my Surly. So now you know all my recent Surly Karate Monkey changes. A little update video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.